Hey guys, welcome to Koaster Kids with your host Logan
and Natalie. And today we are doing my top 15 coasters. So many of you guys have been commenting, do this video, but that requires me to get up and actually put together a list of 15 coasters, and that requires some level of effort, and I'm just too lazy. But because all the comments were piling up, I decided to put together a list of 15 coasters that I really liked. And not only is this going to be me in this video, it's going to be Logan, because he is the coaster man. He knows all the facts and stats, and so he's going to kind of put in some more information about the coaster than I could put in. Okay, so number 15, Banshee at Kings Island. I really like this coaster, but it got placed in 15 and not in the numbers more of what I liked.
Basically what she means, it doesn't make the top 10 or anything like that.
Yeah. So what I liked about this coaster is that, one, it's at my home park, and I've ridden it with all my friends, so there's a lot of memories there, and I rode that with a lot of you guys on Koaster Kids Day, which was a lot of fun. But okay, so what I don't like is about the restraints. The more you go into the ride, the tighter and tighter they get, and by the end of the ride, you can't really breathe. Logan, what are the stats?
It is height 167 feet, speed 68 miles per hour, and fun facts, it is the world's longest inverted roller coaster. Everybody knows that.
Okay, so yeah, that would be 15. Next is 14, which is Mystery Mine from Dollywood. I really like this coaster, even though I refused to ride it a second time. What I liked about it is that, well, I'm not going to give away the surprise because there is kind of a surprise in the ride, although you're probably just going to Google it after this video. But either way, there was a little surprise, and it kind of terrified me, so I didn't want to ride it again. I'm pretty sure, Logan, did you ride it again?
No, I
Oh,
didn't.
well, it closed. It had some problems. It does have problems a lot, which is kind of bad. But it was a really fun ride, and I really liked it. Number 13 is Fire Chaser Express, again at Dollywood. I really like this ride. It's not necessarily scary. I mean, it does take you backwards for part of the ride, but it's not necessarily scary. It's just kind of like a fun family ride that I really liked. And I did ride it with a lot of my family members, and Dollywood was just a really good memory thing for me. Some of these roller coasters aren't necessarily fantastic roller coasters. I just associate them with really good memories that I've had in the past, which makes them even better. Yeah, so number 12 is California Screamin' at Disney's California Adventure. So Disneyland was a lot of fun. And again, I associate good memories with there. And I really like this ride because at the beginning it does give you a launch, but it's not too terrifyingly fast. It's just a really fun ride. Logan, I keep forgetting to ask you to give the stats, so just give me the stats for California Screamin'.
Alright, the height is about 120 something feet. Speed 62 miles per hour, parentheses 100 kilometers an hour. And yeah, I don't really have much to say about it. And it's a hybrid, which means steel track, wooden supports, and yeah, it's a very fun ride.
Okay, so then number 11 is Radiator Springs Racers at
Disney's California Adventure. And I know people are gonna say, what's wrong with you guys? Radiator Springs Racers is not a roller coaster. What's wrong with you guys? Unsubscribed. But now you don't care.
I do not care. It's a ride to me, and that's all that matters. So if you want, you can count this off the charts, and you can just pretend this is the top 14 coasters, but for me, this counts as a roller coaster, because it kind of is, I guess. In my brain, in my weird brain, it is. Anyway, I really, really love this ride. It has amazing effects that, actually the cars are, come to life from the animation movies. And personally, I love the movie Cars. It wasn't one of my favorite Disney movies. My favorite is probably Finding Nemo. That was a good movie.
And here's a fun fact about it. This cost $200 million, which makes sense because they had to theme the ride so well. They had to put mountains everywhere.
They actually built the canyons from the movie, life size. It was amazing. I really, really love that ride.
It's probably the most themed ride that I've ever seen.
Yes. Okay, then number 10, the Fly at Canada's Wonderland. Of course, I had to put a Wild Mouse coaster in here, or else what kind of Wild Mouse coaster lover am I? I really love the Fly. As you guys know, I talk about Wild Mouse coasters way too much, probably way too much for your liking. But I love this ride. It's really fun. You guys probably, if you have been on this channel for more than 2 seconds, you probably already know everything I love about Wild Mouse coasters.
All right, so the height, 55 feet. Speed, 40 miles per hour. And, okay, let's stop that. And it's a Wild Mouse coaster, obviously. And it's a pretty fun ride, in my opinion.
Okay, number 9 is Intimidator at Carowinds. This ride is pretty good. It's not one of my all-time favorites, obviously. It's not in the top 5, but it did make it into the top 10. I like this ride just because of the height. I love all the drops. It's just an overall fun ride.
All right, so the height, 332 feet. Top speed, 75 miles per hour, and etc. And yeah, I don't really know much about it. The only thing I know is that it's fun and intense.
Okay, our next one is number 8, which is Behemoth at Canada's Wonderland. This ride is a lot similar to Diamondback and even kind of similar to Leviathan, even though obviously Leviathan is taller. I really love Behemoth. It's a really smooth ride. There's a lot of, it's kind of like a typical, what kind of coaster is it called?
A B&M hyper coaster.
It's kind of a typical one of those. I've been on a lot of similar ones, but personally, I just think this one kind of stands out.
All right, height 230, and top speed 77 miles per hour. And Dad can't stop laughing in the background.
Why are you laughing?
All right, let's get off that subject.
Okay.
And
go ahead.
oh, okay, okay.
All right, number 7, Diamondback at Kings Island. So this ride again is a lot similar to Behemoth, but I do think that it is slightly better, probably just because it's my home park. And again, I've ridden Diamondback, not exactly. I think I've ridden. Did we ride that on Coaster Kids Day?
Yeah.
I rode it with some of you guys, which was really fun. And again, I always favorite rides at my home park just because they're my home park.
And height 230, speed 80, and length 5,280 feet of track, I think. I don't really remember.
Okay. Number 6 is Wild Eagle at Dollywood. Okay. So I really, really like this ride, and a lot of Gatekeeper lovers are probably going to be like, why don't you love Gatekeeper better? Just because...
You mean Wild Eagle better?
No.
You said what? You said Gatekeeper better.
I know, Logan. I'm getting to the point.
All right, whatever. Carry on.
Okay, so a lot of you guys are probably going to be like, why don't you like Gatekeeper better? Well, there's a reason. Gatekeeper was cool, but I definitely like Wild Eagle better. I'm not exactly sure. I think I might just like the theming better. Also, Wild Eagle was the second type of kind of those coasters that I went on. So on Gatekeeper...
Parentheses. She means winged coasters.
Yes, that was the second wing coaster that I've been on, so I wasn't as terrified on Gatekeeper. I was really scared because it's like, oh my gosh, I'm always afraid that the little like 2 sides are just gonna break off. Sorry if I just created a new fear for some of you guys, but that's just something that goes on in my brain, even though obviously it will not break. Rides are very safe. But yeah, I just like Wild Eagle better. Stats?
All right, height 210 feet. Speed 60 something miles per hour. And you don't really need to know much about it anymore.
Okay, so just so you know, Logan is not looking at like a piece of paper anywhere. This is all from the top of his head. So if he doesn't get the exact things right, don't get mad, because this little brain stores so much information that it's hard to keep track of everything.
Yeah, and you don't need to know every single bit of every single coaster.
Okay, next one is number 5, Leviathan at Canada's Wonderland. This ride was so smooth. I really like this ride because I love after the hill, there's like that tunnel thing. I just love everything about it. Stats.
All right, height 306 feet, speed 149 kilometers an hour, and just Google it after this video.
Okay, number 4 is Accelerator at Knott's Berry Farm. This was my very first top hat coaster. I actually got the style of coaster right. I'm so proud of myself. Anyway, this was my first top hat coaster, and I was absolutely terrified. In fact, I do have a video for you, and it's kind of embarrassing. I was crying before I rode it. I'll just like insert it right here. Okay, enough of that. So yes, that was a video of me riding Accelerator for the first time, and after that, we actually rode it 10 more times.
The next day.
Well, yeah, the next day. But we rode it like 10 times, not in a row. We like waited a ride and then we rode it again. But anyway, it was a really fun ride, and it taught me a lot because I was very terrified, but it was definitely the most I've ever been scared on a ride. And it seems like after that, it was just like a big hurdle that I jumped over, and it was gone, and then I felt like I could pretty much ride anything, except for Top Thrill Dragster. I also cried before that. Anyway.
No, you didn't.
You didn't ride with me, Logan.
Oh.
You don't know.
Okay.
You don't know. So next is number 3, Millennium Force at Cedar Point. Of course, this is pretty much in everyone's top 3. Millennium Force is an amazing ride. I don't even think I have to talk much about it because you've probably heard it from like every other roller coaster YouTuber / enthusiast ever, that Millennium Force is just an amazing ride and has so many aspects that are just awesome. Stats?
Height 310 feet, speed 93 mph, length over 6,000 feet of track. It was the very first giga coaster to be ever built.
Okay, and now number 2, drum roll please. Fury 325. You probably thought that this was going to be my number 1, and it used to be my number 1, but something just clicked in my brain and made it my number 2. I love this ride so much. And when you go to the top of the hill, there's like a really pretty view of everything. And it is at Carowinds, which is one of my all-time favorite parks. I also like how it's like in between North Carolina and South Carolina. I don't know, I just think that's cool. But it's a really, really awesome ride. I think the theming is really cool. I love the color scheme. Pretty much everything about it I love. But it didn't make it my number 1 because, as you'll see, my number 1 was like really awesome. All right, stats?
Height, you guessed it, 325 feet.
Shocker.
Speed, 95 miles per hour. Length, 6,602 feet of track.
Tracked.
Fun fact, the length of the ride used to be the password for my iPad.
That's probably not safe for you to see on the internet.
It's okay, it's no longer that.
Okay, all right. Okay, so finally, number 1 is Top Thrill Dragster. I love this ride so much, even though I was absolutely terrified to ride it at first. Definitely after I rode this ride, I pretty much was never scared on a ride again, with a few exceptions. But pretty much that ride was like the biggest hurdle I could ever jump over, and after I was past that milestone, I could literally ride anything. I highly recommend riding this ride if you live in the Cedar Point area or if you're going to Cedar Point, because even if you are scared at first, you will definitely not regret it. And one of the best parts about this ride is, of course, it's an awesome ride, but also you feel so proud of yourself after you ride it, and it's really amazing. And whenever I see it, I'm always like, I can't believe I rode that, but I'm always grateful that I did ride it. All right, what's the stats?
Height, 420 feet. Speed, 120 miles per hour. Duration, 17 seconds, parentheses, very short. And fun facts. It was the very first ever Strata coaster.
I don't know what that is, but that's okay. All right, guys, so that completes, there we go, that completes my top 15 roller coaster video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed it, and if you have any other suggestions of what videos we should do next, make sure to comment them in the comments down below. Make sure to like this video, and yeah, I pretty much all just said your slogan, but anyway, be brave and ride on! See you later, guys.
Bye.
You're so lame. Just kidding. Okay, we're done.
Turn off the video, please. Turn it off, please.
Our dad is waiting for something funny to happen before he stops the video. So we're just gonna wait here on strike until he stops it.
Let's just get out of here.
True. See you later.